Have you ever dreamed about an Earth where people cooperate with each other? An Earth where people can form groups that inspire and uplift everyone in them without fighting? For thousands of years, human beings have been trying to form long-lasting groups that cooperate for the good of all. But something always seems to get in the way. The history of the human race is all about rise and fall and the breakup of organizations into competing elements. Look at this map of planet Earth. Does anything look unusual? If you said no, look again. Look at the obvious. Our planet is artificially divided into nation-states. The State Department of the United States officially recognizes 194 countries. The nation-state naturally leads to separation and nationalism, patriotism, and thus competition and conflict. Humanity has been conditioned for so long to think that this is natural, and it never occurs to the vast majority of human beings to question it. Well, it's time we did. The human race is evolving in awareness due to a tremendous population explosion that is creating the potential for a sort of critical mass of consciousness. Critical mass is a term that just means the size or amount of something that is required before an event can take place. The continued increase in population will eventually lead to a quantum leap in awareness on a planetary scale. That is what this movie is about. Malcolm Gladwell has described a concept called the tipping point. A tipping point occurs as an idea suddenly takes root in the mass consciousness and results in broad acceptance from everyone in society. This quantum leap in consciousness is much different than group acceptance or excitement about the latest fad, fashion, hit song, or TV program. Which often leads to irrational and mindless behavior. A tipping point in consciousness results in a higher level of awareness for each individual and will create a renaissance on our planet. How is this possible? In order to understand how this could happen, we have to understand what consciousness is. You see, dear listener, we've all been fooled for way too long. For 5,000 years, human beings have been taught to think in self-limiting ways. We've been taught that we are biological robots, and that our awareness of self comes from neurons firing in the brain. But the truth is far more powerful. If you haven't already, please view the movie The Unity of Spirit and Matter, available for free viewing at http://www.sunrise-production.org, which will give you a good overview of what consciousness is. The human race has not yet established a true civilization. That's because the basic requirements of a civilized society are cooperation, based upon mutual respect and a shared concern for the welfare of all, the species that share our planet, and the planet herself. The governments, religions, and corporations of Earth are controlling and are organized like a pyramid, where a few at the top make decisions for the rest. This is why our societies and our planet has reached only a fraction of its true potential. The problems we have with our political, banking, and religious organizations can only happen when individuals allow those without awareness of self to rise to positions of authority. Before we begin to blame those at the top for their bad behavior, consider the idea that organizations that act only for a few and ignore the concerns of the many can only exist when individuals in society give up their power. We tell ourselves that we can do nothing because we believe that it isn't possible to change the system for the better. The chain represents our own limiting beliefs, which keep us prisoners within a vibrational box of our own making. Every person on Earth is a vibrational voter. The powers that be can only act in ways that we have all agreed upon. In other words, the actors on the stage can only say the lines and do the things that are acceptable to the audience. When we alter what is acceptable to us through a change in our thought and intent, we also restrict and channel the activities of politicians, bankers, and other so-called authorities. Fortunately, people who understand themselves as spiritual beings will never give up their power. More and more people every day are coming to this understanding, which is why events are changing so rapidly.